Okay, we have our Photoshop graphics imported as a scene. We have our text recreated so that we can use this scene as a template for other programs within the Vizrt platform. Now, we want to enhance this lower third a little bit by adding some animation. And there are many different ways you can do that. We're just going to demonstrate a few ways that you can use the keyframes and the stage to animate things in and out. Number one, we're going to start with the lower left logo here. Within our scene tree, we have a red box and we have our logo. We could easily combine these two into one group by highlighting both by holding Control and clicking them, and then we're going to come up and group them. Now we're going to rename this new group to the logo. Okay, so we have our new container here within our group. We just regrouped these things, and you can see since it's now all in one container, we can move these together rather than individually. So to begin, I'm going to click on our stage here just to access the animation. Our animation parameters are right within our scene editor window, and we can set our controls right here. I like to start my animation from the back and sometimes work backwards. If you need to know more about the animation, you can check out the animation videos, but we're going to quickly set a keyframe here. By setting the keyframe, we're going to rewind our timeline. I'm going to move this red box off the screen to the left and set another keyframe, and down here you can now see within our stage that we have two keyframes and an animation. I hit the play button and that red box comes in. We can change the speed faster or slower by adjusting our keyframes. We can worry about that later. We're going to move on to the white box next. Within the white box, you can see it's basically just a rectangle, and within any container we also have the options to select our axis center. We have a left, we have a center, we have a right for the x-axis, and then on the y we have a bottom, center, top. For the z we also have a back, center, front. Right now we're going to set the x to the left. We're going to come up to the scale. By default, scaling is set to locked, so we're going to change that to single. My timeline is set out here, so that's where I want it to end. I'm just going to set keyframe, and then I'm going to rewind my timeline, and I want to scale this down to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and type 0 into there, and I'm going to hit set keyframe, and now we have two animations. So when we come back, rewind our timeline and hit play, you can see that both boxes come on. I'm going to worry about adjusting the speed later. Next, we're going to bring in this top bar here where it says breaking. So here we have a container all in one, and if we open that up, there's only one layer. So we can either animate the layer or the topmost container. It's really up to you. We'll just do the container itself since it already has an alpha channel on it. And we're just going to use the alpha channel to fade this on. So here's my timeline. It's set to 30. I'm going to hit set keyframe, and my alpha container editor up here, we have 100 to a 0, and I'm going to lower that to a 0, and I'm going to hit set keyframe again, and here's my animation. So if we hit play, our animation is going to play, and you can see we have it reversed. So in that case, all I need to do is take my two keyframes here and just reverse it just like that. Now it's going to fade on as opposed to off. And again, check out the animation videos if you need to know more about animation. Finally, we're going to take our elements on the lower right here and fade them in as well. So here we have a time live, and again, all these things are contained within a container, so we could animate these in individually or however we want. We're just going to have it come in from the right edge. So again, I'm going to have my timeline set where I want it to stand. My container is highlighted. I'm going to hit set keyframe. Then I'm going to rewind my timeline, and we're going to reposition our live news so that it's off the screen, and then we're going to hit set keyframe again, and we'll see it and make sure that it comes in. Lastly, we need to adjust this time as part of the text, and we haven't really animated any of the text on yet, but the system time container, we can have that come on however we want as well. So within my timeline down here, I'll just set a place for it to land, and I'm just going to have it scale up here. So we're going to work with the scaling parameters. I'm going to set a keyframe at 0.09. I'm going to rewind my timeline a bit, and I'm just going to scale this down to 0 and set another keyframe. And that time will now scale up as that box lands. Lastly, we just want to animate some of our text on. Again, there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. For now, we're just going to use a quick and simple text effects plugin, and if you need to know how to use them, you can certainly check out the videos on that. So we'll take this text effects rotate, and we will drag that down onto our headline font. And we're going to go into the text effects rotate setting here. There's only one setting really that we need to work around. It's the progress percentage. It's set to 0 right now, so I'm just going to set my timeline. I'm going to set a keyframe. It advances our timeline automatically, so I'm going to type in 100 for this keyframe. I'm going to set keyframe again, and now we have an animation going on our text, which we could change with all the container settings and everything like that, but I'm not too concerned with that right now. We're just going to move on and adjust the timing. Here is our text effects animation, so we can obviously change the timing of this animation by changing the keyframes and space between them in below. Now that we have one text effects on our text, we can really just copy that down onto the next 2 or 3 text layers that we have to save us some time. We've got all of our animations. The next step would be to just adjust the speed of each animation coming in. Alright, so if we rewind our timeline and come up here to play it, we'll hit play and you can see everything animates in. Now we could spend time readjusting each and every animation to have it come in just as we want and or go out as we want. But I think you get the idea how to create a Photoshop image, bring it into Vizrt, and then animate it any way you need and readjust it so that other people can change the template.